Welcome to my channel, Noah here. Today, I'm making a video going over what I think the Mario timeline could look like, since it's essentially unconfirmed, and the way time passes in the games isn't something that the creators are concerned with most of the time. This is mostly just speculation, but you'd probably agree with me. I'm gonna try to, give my explanations for why I think these things, and I've been going over this for the past few years in my head, and every once in a while it'll just come to mind, and I'll write down a little list of the games and what order I think they go in. So this is just my interpretation. Some people may agree. You might switch the order around. Based on what you think, and that's okay. This is just what makes the most sense to me. So yeah, I'm gonna start now and just comment after, whatever differences you have. So the first game that I included on this timeline is Donkey Kong, the original arcade game. This story essentially takes place before Mario and Luigi are born. And I would say that Jumpman in this game, who's saving Pauline from Donkey Kong, is so Jumpman and Pauline could be Mario and Luigi's parents, and a lot of this is headcanon, so just bear with me here. So however many years before Mario and Luigi are born, this adventure takes place, or not really an adventure because it's a pretty short game. So yeah, Mario saves Pauline from Donkey Kong, pretty basic plot, and then after that, Jumpman, he kidnaps Donkey Kong Jr. from Donkey Kong, his father. So, this is the game Donkey Kong Jr., original title, I know. And basically, Jumpman, I'm pretty sure he's named Mario in this game. And I think that's when the Mario character is just now being named. I can't remember when he was first called this, though. So Donkey Kong Jr., the protagonist, saves his father from Jumpman. And one interpretation of the game, one release of the game, there's a halo over Jumpman's head at the end when he's defeated. So, he could die, but there's another version where he doesn't have a halo and he walks away. So, those could be considered two separate timelines, one where Jumpman survives and one where he dies. Not really up to me, not anything I've really thought about that much. And then after this, doesn't really apply to the Mario series, but the third Donkey Kong game shows Donkey Kong and the protagonist Stanley, basically, they're at war, pretty basic plot. I haven't played this game, but I just thought I'd mention it. And after some time has passed, Donkey Kong Jr. grows up. In my head, this makes sense, okay? And he has birth to his wife or partner gives birth to Donkey Kong the Third, which is the modern Donkey Kong in the games, and this is where Yoshi's Island takes place in the timeline, because Mario and Luigi are newborns, and basically Kamek wants to kidnap Mario and Luigi, but he only gets Luigi, and Mario falls down to Yoshi's Island and meets the dinosaurs called Yoshi for the first time. Yeah, after the stork was carrying the babies. And so the whole adventure takes place. They save baby Luigi, and they get delivered to their parents, which I think are Jumpman and Pauline, who have probably just moved out of the city to the Mushroom Kingdom, or Jumpman could originally be from the Mushroom Kingdom. I'll try to come back to that later. And then I believe Yoshi's Island DS. I'm trying to remember the plot. So in Yoshi's Island DS, I choose to believe this is a direct follow-up to the first game, and I'm not going to include Yoshi's New Island from the Nintendo 3DS, because too many things in that game are too inconsistent to me, and I just choose to believe that Yoshi's Island and Yoshi's Island DS makes the most sense to me, and that game just does not fit in. And basically, in this game, Kamek and his army take the Star Children, because I think he prophesizes that they'll stop him and Bowser in the future. So, the Star Children are, I believe they're Mario, Luigi, Peach, Wario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, and Bowser. Yeah, the 7 star children. And basically, I choose to believe that the baby Yoshi born at the end of this game is the current Yoshi in the Mario games, and this Yoshi's just one that helps Mario and Luigi when they're children. And so yeah, this is pretty similar to the first game, except for the inclusion of these the aforementioned characters that I said as babies. So this basically confirms that Mario, Luigi, Peach, Wario, Donkey Kong, and Yoshi are around the same age. You know, Yoshi being younger, Bowser being slightly older, but yeah, these characters are all born around the same time. A few years pass. Mario and Luigi grow up in the Mushroom Kingdom. They might have regular childhoods, or they might go on adventures. This is not ever stated, what their childhood after this game was like. So, I choose to believe that either in the Mushroom Kingdom, or if they move back to this city, like New Donk City from Mario Odyssey, that type of area. Either way, Mario and maybe Luigi get a job in the game Wrecking Crew, and they have. That's a pretty short game, but I choose to believe that it's canon for purposes of this. It doesn't really impact it much, but I just think that that'd be like an interesting little segue into like them becoming full-on adventurers in their adulthood. And the game Mario Bros, not Super Mario Bros, Mario Bros, where Mario and Luigi are in the sewers, and there's all the creatures all over. There's not much story to this, and some things that have been stated by Nintendo aren't really canon anymore. And you can interpret things however you want. I choose to believe that certain things that they put out before the story was clear for like the mainline games, that they're kind of retconned, like Mario being middle-aged back then, like, originally being designed to be a middle-aged man. And he's not that way anymore, he's much younger, in his 20s. Anyway, back to what I was saying about Mario Bros. I believe that this game leads into Super Mario Bros. Because they're in the sewers for whatever reason, and in my headcanon, they could be distracted by Bowser's army, the Koopa Troop, when he goes to kidnap Princess Peach. And, this could segue into it, because the first Mario game where Mario and Luigi save Peach, they could be distracted. Bowser swoops in when they're in the sewers. Mario and Luigi come back. They're like, Peach is kidnapped, so they save her for the first time. And so I'm gonna put a piece of the artwork that Shigeru Miyamoto drew. I'm gonna put the piece of artwork that Shigeru Miyamoto drew for the first Mario Bros. Game on the screen. So this is the first depiction. Mario with his middle-aged look and Peach looking kind of like a child, and Bowser looking way different. And then I'm gonna put a newer version from one of the re-releases of the game. So yeah, they save Princess Peach for the first time, ? It's the first game in the series, so yeah, of the Super Mario series, that is. And after that, the game Super Mario Bros. 2, the United States version, that is, this is a dream Mario has, I think. So it could be that, or they're actually, going to the to Subcon, the Dreamland, fighting Wart and his army, and then forgetting it, and Mario thinking it's a dream. I think that it's just a dream. It doesn't really impact the series that much, other than introducing Birdo and Shy Guys and the Bombs, Ninjas, some other enemies. Wart doesn't reappear in the Mario series. And then after that, Super Mario Bros. 3. So this is the first appearance of the Koopalings, Bowser's adopted children. Bowser Jr. is not in this game. So there's kings in this game, which is an interesting addition to the lore, because they're not really brought up, to my knowledge, anymore in the series. But yeah, there's it's referred to as the Mushroom World, and it's kind of unclear if it's the same thing as the Mushroom Kingdom, or the Mushroom Kingdom is just one kingdom in the Mushroom World, because there's a few worlds, as they call it in the game, different themes, and there's a king for each of them. And so Peach is the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, and all of these kings, they rule their own kingdom in the Mushroom World. That kind of just implies that there's like a bunch of kingdoms next to each other, and I would assume that the Mushroom Kingdom is friendly with the rest of these territories. And all 7 Koopalings take over, one of the kingdoms, and turn the ruler into an animal. Mario and Luigi save them. that's that story. Very interesting game. I like playing it personally. It's one of my favorite Mario games. After that, I choose to believe that Super Mario World takes place, and I know that you may be watching and being like, "Oh, you're basically just saying these games in a very obvious order, like release order and such," which is sort of true for most of these, but there's actual reasoning I have. It's not like I'm just saying, "Oh, this game came out after it, so it must take place after it." That's not really why I'm choosing it, even though it may seem like that. But anyway, Super Mario World, I'm pretty sure there's an instruction manual that basically just like has like a lot of information proving or like pointing to the fact that this takes place after the Koopalings are trying to take over the Mushroom World with Bowser. There's the reappearance of certain enemies, I believe, from that game. Well, most notably the Koopalings. And this is when Mario, Luigi, and Peach take a vacation to Dinosaur World, which is where Yoshi's Island is. It's part of Dinosaur World. And, they're reunited with Yoshi because Bowser decides to trap the Yoshis in eggs magically. So they're not like babies, they're just trapped there. And they're like the native inhabitants of Dinosaur World. And Bowser and his Koopa Troop, they get there to sabotage the Mario Bros. And Princess Peach before they do their vacation. So Mario, Luigi, and the Yoshis work together and they go through all the different places in Dinosaur World to save Peach at the end. They fight all the Koopalings again. Somewhat similar to Mario Bros. 3. Also, one of my favorite games. I just like the mechanics as well. And after that, I choose to believe this is where Super Mario 64 takes place. But here's the twist. I think that Super Mario 64 DS should be considered canon instead. And this might be controversial because so many people like the original version better. This is the version I grew up on, and I beat the game. I like it a lot. I like the inclusion of Luigi, Yoshi, and Wario being playable. I like the extra levels. I just think it's a much better game. Like, obviously, it's not as innovative because it's a recreation of the first game. But I would choose to call it canon because it has King Boo and sort of a foreshadowing moment to Luigi's Mansion when during King Boo's boss fight, and that's how you unlock Luigi, I believe. So yeah, you have to play as Mario, you beat King Boo, and after that, I think that's why King Boo kidnaps Mario, honestly, and he wants to get back at all of them because, like, why not? He's an evil guy. But yeah, and although I didn't include the Wario games on this list, I believe that Wario. Wait, what's the Wario? Wario World on the GameCube either takes place before or after this, like right before or after. Because at one point I did include all of the spin-offs, like the Donkey Kong games, the Wario games, everything on this timeline, but it's kind of just too convoluted because if you want to put it into a timeline, those have to take place at the same time as the games on this list, so I didn't include them on here because it just makes more sense to include the main Mario games. But I'm kind of straying off from what I was supposed to be talking about. So anyway, after Super Mario 64 DS, when Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi team up, get all the Power Stars in the castle, I think that this is when Luigi's Mansion takes place for the same reason I said before, because King Boo's getting his revenge. And after Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine. This is pretty much confirmed to take place after Luigi's Mansion, not just because Luigi's Mansion came out first, but because Flood was built by Professor Egad, and Mario's saved. And since Professor Egad was he made his debut in the previous game, I just think it makes much more sense. Like, I know Luigi's not included on this vacation that they take in this game, but yeah. Anyway, Isle Delfino as a location is introduced, and I haven't finished this game because I got stuck at some point. It was a little difficult for me, and I got stuck on one level. This game takes place after Luigi's Mansion. The next couple games on here are kind of hard to place, but I'm gonna say that Super Princess Peach takes place after that. PD Piranha is as a boss in this game, and he first appeared in Mario Sunshine. And I believe that King Boo might also be a boss in this game. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I think that just like a lot of things in this game just like seem like, oh, You can just place it here. It doesn't really matter where you place it, but that makes the most sense to me since PD Piranha reappears. Same situation for New Super Mario Bros. Because this came out after Mario Sunshine. Like, that was one of the most recent Mario games at the time. And, you know, Mario and Peach are walking at the beginning. Bowser Jr. kidnaps Peach. And what game did Bowser Jr. first appear in? Mario Sunshine. When Bowser Jr. was saying, you know, when apparently Bowser was teaching him that Peach was his mom, right? And at the end of that game, Bowser Jr. is talking about how he still wants to beat Mario, even though he knows Peach isn't his mom. So, what do we see happen in this game? Bowser Jr. is one of the main antagonists again, and you fight him in every world. I'm pretty sure you fight him in every world. He's the tower boss, I think. And yeah, PD Piranha is one of the bosses. He reappears. This makes a lot of sense to me that this would take place right after Mario Sunshine or after Super Princess Peach. Those two games can be swapped. Doesn't necessarily matter. They just take place after Sunshine. And this one definitely is way out of order to when it came out. But Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the sequel to Luigi's Mansion, and it came out first on the 3DS. I think that it takes place around here because Professor Egad comes back. It's a different mansion to the first game. Similar plot, I guess, because you have to keep the same gameplay. But yeah, I haven't played this game, didn't get a chance. But I'm gonna say it takes place around here. This game, Super Mario Galaxy, changes a lot about the Mario lore. In this game, we get introduced to Rosalina, and Mario meets Rosalina after Bowser and all his airships, so basically Kamek is there too, and I think it's called the Star Festival at the beginning of the game. The Mushroom Kingdom is celebrating. Bowser comes, kidnaps Peach. They go into outer space, and Bowser's basically trying to build a space empire in this game. And, you know, I haven't beat this game as well. I tried to. I got stuck. But I do know a little bit of the plot, and this is where Rosalina is involved. And I think that the world is kind of, like, rebuilt after defeating Bowser and falling into, like, I think you fall into a black hole, actually, and the world just, like, explodes again and kind of just, like, rebuilds itself. And that's why people say Mario Galaxy 2 takes place after it, but I don't think that the game's canon, because it was supposed to kind of just be an add-on to the first game, and the story elements don't really make too much sense when you try to fit it into everything else. I don't think that there's room for 2 Mario Galaxy games in this, and I choose to believe that after that is where Super Mario 3D Land takes place. I have beat this game. I thought it was pretty fun. The Tanuki leaf is reintroduced. I don't know, I just thought that a lot of the mechanics from Mario Galaxy come back, and like, even though this did come out like right after, I want to say it came out right after Mario Galaxy 2, when that was like the main home console Mario game. I don't know, I just think that like it makes sense to place it here. Yeah, nothing really changes my mind. And then in New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Tanuki leaf also appears, and that's not really a reason to say that it comes after that game, but it did release after it, and I just think that it would be a nice place to put it here. And Mario and Luigi are visiting Peach at the beginning. Doesn't really mean it's her birthday. I don't know if the game states that it's her birthday, but yeah, they have to save her from the Koopalings again, and the Koopalings last appeared on my timeline and Mario World, I want to say. Yeah, Mario World, and they come back here. And I would put New Super Mario Bros. Wii after that game, because the Koopalings are here again, and it's Peach's birthday at the beginning, and they kidnap her in a giant cake. You have to go through 8 worlds, defeat them, Kamek, Bowser Jr., and finally Bowser. I like this game. This is one of the first Mario games that I played. I grew up on this, beat it multiple times, and I think that it should just take place after New Super Mario Bros. 2, because that being a sequel to the first New Super Mario Bros. Makes more sense to me, other than it going that game, Wii, 2. You know what I mean? I think it just should go New Super Mario Bros. 1, then 2, than anything else, because this is a numbering title, and that might be not a good enough reason, but everything else convinces me. I want to put New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe after that, and it doesn't really matter if you want to include the original Wii U version or this. Um, but I like that this game includes Nabbit as a playable character in both that and New Super Mario Bros. New Super Luigi U, I mean, because that's a part of this. And it also includes Toadette, and becoming Peachette, which is pretty unnecessary when it comes to lore because it doesn't really change anything, other than like bringing up the idea that Peach could be a Toad, but I don't really think that changes anything. I don't think she is. I just think it's a magic, maybe the crown mushroom or whatever it's called in this game. It's just something to make Toadette look like Peach for gameplay reasons. And I beat this game, it was pretty fun. Nothing really interesting to add other than this is the first appearance of Nabbit. I choose to put Super Mario 3D World after that game, because this shows Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad, which is Blue Toad in this game. They see the Sprixies, right, which are these like pixie princesses, and I don't know what their place is called, the Sprixie Kingdom, I think. I did beat this game last year when Bowser's Fury came out, but yeah, I thought it was fun. The Boom Boom and Pom Pom come back, and Boom Boom first appeared in New Super Mario Bros. 3, reappeared in Mario 3D Land. Pom Pom was in Mario 3D Land, and so yeah, that game taking place a couple games earlier kind of makes sense. And this is kind of supposed to be a sequel to Mario 3D Land anyway, with the level layouts and such. And yeah, I think that it should just take place after that for not just because it comes out after New Super Mario Bros. U, but the fact that Blue Toad's there, and Blue Toad's, a character from the New Super Mario Bros. Series. That doesn't really change anything, but putting it here makes sense to me. And Bowser's Fury, I have not beat this, but I did start it. I think that it makes sense to be put here because it's Mario by himself after the events of 3D World, right? And Bowser Jr. has his paintbrush from Sunshine. And then once Mario goes to Lake Lapcat, I believe it's called. It could be a place on their planet, or it could just be a separate dimension, like a parallel world, where Bowser turns into like Fury Bowser and all of that. He's the antagonist. Yeah, and you can have similar moves to Mario Odyssey in this game. It kind of just like showing that it's further in the timeline. Yeah, but I think the fact that it's an add-on to 3D World is enough to prove that it takes place after 3D World. The similar intro cutscene and such. And I choose to put Luigi's Mansion 3 after that. I have not beat the game. I've seen certain cutscenes and a little bit of gameplay, and Mario, Luigi, and Peach are they're staying in a hotel, and, Luigi's Mansion antics and gameplay ensues. They have to keep it similar. And Professor Egad's there again with his paranormal research. And Luigi saves the day. I want to put Captain Toad Treasure Tracker after this, and I would include the Switch version instead of the Wii U version, just because it's more updated. Similar reasoning to why I put Mario U Deluxe and Super Mario 64 DS on the list, just because it's the newer version, and the certain elements of the game makes it like retcon / replace the original. This is just a side puzzle game, Captain Toad going on adventures. And I know that the original Wii U was kind of like a prequel to Mario 3D World, and the version on the Switch serves as a prequel to Mario Odyssey. And that's why I include Mario Odyssey last on this list, because Captain Toad appears in this game, and that game definitely leads up to the beginning of this, if I'm not mistaken. And I played this the year it came out. Really fun. I was looking forward to it for almost a year when they started releasing commercials for it. And here's where I decide to include a theory about Pauline in this game, because even though there's a thing in the game where it's like trivia about her being kidnapped by Donkey Kong, right? I think that's just kind of like a meta thing, because her name's Pauline, and this city's clearly supposed to be inspired by the first Donkey Kong game, and for lore reasons, I'm going to say that it is the same city. Everything points to it, like the Donkey Kong references, everything. And if I didn't already state this, I believe that Donkey Kong from the first game is Cranky Kong from the Donkey Kong Country series. And that's pretty much proven, so it's not really a theory anymore. But the theory that I had that isn't necessarily original, because I could swear that I saw someone else come up with it, but it just makes sense to me that the Pauline in this game could also just be Mario's sister. Some people might call that weird since Jumpman and Pauline were in a relationship, but the reason I say this is because if Jumpman and Pauline from the first game had kids, Mario and Luigi, who's to say they couldn't have a daughter, right? And if, say, Jumpman's real name is Mario, that would make this Mario Jr. And this might not be popular for, a mother to name her daughter after herself, because I don't think that's a thing that typically happens, or at least happens as much as males. But she could just be Pauline Jr. It doesn't really change anything, because the Mario series doesn't really need continuity, but this is kind of just me trying to make sense of it. So yeah, if Pauline's Mario's sister, that makes a lot of sense. You could make it weird if you want to include the Mario versus Donkey Kong series, but I think that they just come off as friends. Like, you could see it as a relationship, but them being siblings could make sense. Like, Pauline inherited the genetics of Pauline, of her being tall, right? Like, of her mom being tall, and Mario and Luigi got the genetics of Mushroom Kingdom people, because the kings in the Mushroom World from Mario Bros. 3, they have a lot of similarities to Mario and Luigi. So I think that that's just how humans from that region of the world look, and that humans in New Donk City, or that region, or that continent, they look taller. And it doesn't mean they can't, like, have kids together. I just think that they're humans with that type of aesthetic in the game. But yeah, that's the theory that puts this at the end of the timeline. And it definitely uses aspects of Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, different games like that, the 3D ones. And it just makes the most sense to put it at the end with all the references to what came before. And yeah, that's the way that I make sense of the Mario timeline. This obviously only follows the Mario games, and I did include Luigi's Mansion and Super Princess Peach, and also Captain Toad, but just so it can be more cohesive, I guess, because those games obviously include Mario, except for Captain Toad, but it directly ties in. And this is what I think is canon, because I did not include Super Mario Land, the sequel to that, or Super Mario Galaxy 2, just because this just makes the most sense to me. And I might make a follow-up to this to include the Donkey Kong games in the timeline, even though I'm pretty sure that mostly goes in order of release. Same for Wario, because it has WarioWare and Wario Land, and if I thought about it, you could probably place WarioWare before or after the Wario Land games, or just put them together. I did theorize on this, but in the past, so I'd have to figure out how much evidence there is for the list I made, or like the order that I made of that. But yeah, I would like to make more videos like this, and maybe even scripted, because this is kind of just coming off the top of my head. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the me rambling about this, my thoughts of me going back and forth on certain things. But yeah, like the video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.